Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for The 100, Season 1, Episode 3, Earth Kills, and oh my god, guys, this episode was just like Arrow tonight. It was amazing, and I felt like this episode was just so much better than the last two episodes, because now we have some real intense violence going on, definitely, in this episode. By introducing this little girl, and by having these flashbacks, we learned a lot about the characters, and definitely a lot more is at stake for this show now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next to these characters, to the show, everything. I'm looking forward to a lot of things about this show, because I really loved this episode. There was a lot to love about it, and it was just a really great one in my opinion. So let's just get to it, because I absolutely loved it. So we start this episode off with actually a flashback. Also, there's no separate arc scenes in this episode. It was basically just it was either one of two things. It was either a flashback scene or present time on Earth. It focused a lot on Clarke, though, and I enjoyed that a lot, because Clarke is our essential main character, is essentially our main character here, so we got to learn a little bit more about her, and I really enjoyed that. So, 1 year ago on the arc, Clarke, her dad Jake, Chancellor, Jaha, Abby, and Wells, they're all happy, and they're all enjoying watching soccer together. This is basically us seeing what life was like before her father was killed, and before the whole, before Earth became such a wasteland, basically, the way it looks now. So then, present time, Jasper's alive, but Winch is in pain, and Clarke finds a young woman by the name of Charlotte. And Charlotte is this girl who her parents were flooded, and she's this little girl. And when you in this kind of show, when you have little girls, it's going to be creepy. Now, this girl wasn't actually creepy. She just made the show a lot more, she just put a lot more at stake in this show because of what she went through. And I kind of like the way her and Clarke are connected. Her parents were floated, and she has nightmares about it, and Clarke sees being on Earth as their second chance at life. So, meanwhile, Trina and Pascal are ventured off on their own, but get caught up in acid fog and vanish. But Bellamy thinks they just got lost. Those were two members of the 100. That was definitely strange when that acid fog came. That was really strange. So Clarke is having problems stabilizing Jasper, as Octavia wants to hook up with Adam, but he's not feeling it. Adam was the one that was tied to a tree. Adam's fine now, but he was tied to a tree, so he's not feeling it, though. He doesn't want to hook up with Octavia. He basically just wanted to hook up, basically. She doesn't actually, he didn't want to hook up. He just wanted to kiss her. And she learns that Bellamy told Adam to stay away from it's not that he's not into it. It's that Bellamy told Adam to stay away from her completely. And Clarke, Octavia's obviously not happy about this. So Clarke tries to save Jasper, but Bellamy thinks he's a lost cause. Then we get another flashback, and it's Jake who tells Abby that the Ark doesn't have a lot of oxygen left, and Jake wants to tell Jaha, but Abby warns him he'll get floated as Clarke overhears their conversation. So on Earth, Wells, Clarke, and Finn arrive at the pond where Octavia was attacked and get caught up in an acid fog. Again, that scene was just amazing. When that acid fog came, I'm like, what is going on here? This is amazing, and I really enjoy it, but just, that was so intense when that happened. They find an abandoned van for shelter along with some whiskey, and Wells tells Clarke that he made a mistake ratting out her father and getting him floated. So then in the flashback, Clarke tells Wells about her dad finding a problem with her oxygen levels, and Wells assures her that he'll keep her secret. I really like these flashbacks. Again, we got to see what her father was like, what caused her father's death, things like that. That was just amazing. So then on Earth, that acid smoke, the storm is starting to spread to the forest where Adam, Bellamy, and Charlotte were looking for food. And later, Bellamy is able to help Charlotte with her nightmares via a knife. So luckily, he's able to help Charlotte, it seems, until maybe, until a little later. I'll get to that, but then we get another flashback where Jake dismissed Clarke for trying to help him. He gets arrested for treason as Clarke tells Jake she'll find a way to warn the others. And after the acid fog clears, Finn asks Wells why he told on Clarke's dad, and Wells says he did the right thing, and that's all that matters. All we can see is that Wells, he's very cautious around her father. We don't really know why. We don't know what the whole reason is, but there's a certain reason. We don't really know why at this point. Charlotte finds Adam, who was injured in the acid fog. He wants Bellamy to kill him because he just doesn't see a reason to live anymore. Without Octavia, he doesn't really see a reason to live. He's not really, he's just really upset about things. And plus, he doesn't have his bracelet on anyway, so he really doesn't give a shit if he dies or not. So Charlotte hands Bellamy the knife he gave her, and Clarke arrives and stabs Adam. So Adam, unfortunately, is dead. Clarke just had to kill Adam. Very important decision, very important scene, because Adam was the first person to die, officially die. He's killed off. He's not coming back. It's not like Jasper where they could come back, but he's actually dead. And Clarke is watching, and Charlotte watches on. And the whole time, Charlotte seems like she's okay with this. She's mentally disturbed somehow. Definitely she's mentally disturbed, and we don't know what's going on with her. She kind of reminded me a little bit of Lizzie from The Walking Dead, just because of how disturbed she was. Definitely, I felt that way from her in certain scenes. And then, afterwards, Clarke returns with medicine to save Jasper, and that was basically the plot of the whole episode, was them trying to find medicine to save Jasper. But Octavia sees Adam's dead body and storms off. She's really upset. She's thinking, Bellamy killed him or something. She does not know the real reason why this happened. She doesn't know. She thinks that Bellamy was the one to kill him, and that Bellamy went completely apeshit on him. She just doesn't know what to believe at this point, because she's so, I think she's so into, again, Octavia's a very, rebellious character. She wants to hook up with everyone on this show. She wants to she just doesn't give a shit that, they're here and they don't give a shit. She's the one person the most who doesn't give a shit about anything. And, definitely, she herself didn't know what to believe at this point. So then we get another, flashback, which is Jake and Abby, who hug before he leaves, and Clarke is also there to see her dad leave as he gives her his watch and is ejected into space. And, the biggest reveal there, is basically that the person that killed, basically the person that killed, that ruined, Jake, was actually her mother. Abby was the one who did it, and Abby, was the one who killed her father, which is why, Wells was so, cautious around Abby and things like that, so cold to Abby and things like that, because Clarke had no idea about this. So Clarke is able to find Jasper, and she gives her condolences to Octavia about Adam's death, and Wells finally tells Clarke, he finally tells her the truth, that it was Abby who told Jaha about Jake's plan, and that is just such a huge reveal. I never ever saw that coming, and I think that's a big reveal, and I love that part of the episode, because now when Clarke is gonna meet back up with Abby, all hell is going to break loose. We know Abby is going to Earth, so if Abby shows up in the next episode and she meets up with Clarke, Clarke is going to, throw a fit, because she had no idea that this happened. She had no idea that it was Abby that did this. She had completely no idea. And Clarke feels like a fool that this happened. She feels like it's her fault, and she feels really, really upset that this happened, definitely. And she has a right to feel upset, because these were her parents. She really did care about them, and especially her dad. She didn't know her dad, and now she feels like, her mother did it, and she feels like she can't even trust her mother anymore. Then the end of the episode, I love the way they end this episode. Just so intense. I did not see this coming at all. But Jasper finally awakes. He's alive, and he's talking as Charlotte joins Wells on Night Watch, so luckily Jasper's awake, so that's a good thing. And she tells him about her daily nights, and Charlotte is talking to Wells, about her daily nightmares, and she tells him that, they never actually go away. It seemed like, they were able to go away, but they never actually went away. And because of how disturbed she is and how, terrified she is, she ends up stabbing Wells in the throat with a knife. And basically, at first I just thought, oh, she's probably just doing this because she's so disturbed, but there's a bigger reason behind this. She's actually doing this because Wells, she's getting revenge on Wells, as his dad, Wells' father, Jaha, killed her parents. So that is why she, so Wells is dead and Adam is dead. So Charlotte just killed Wells, and it's going to be huge to see what happens now, because nobody knows, no one is going to suspect that she did this. They're all going to, accuse Clarke now and something like that. They're all going to accuse different people. No one is going to suspect it was this little innocent girl, Charlotte. And again, this reminds me a lot of The Walking Dead, because Lizzie was just as disturbed as this girl, and we did find out why this girl is so disturbed, though. She's so disturbed because Wells essentially, you know, Wells' father, Jaha, essentially killed her parents, and this is basically her revenge for that. So, definitely really, really intense there. I really, really love this episode, though. One of the things I loved is just how intense this show is getting, you know. This is exactly what I wanted from the first episode. I'm not saying the first 2 episodes were not intense. They really were. But now they have so much more at stake now, because now she just killed Wells. And in the promo, you see Clarke saying, "What are we doing? Killing each other?" And basically, there's going to be a huge fight in next week's episode. Looks like there was a huge fight scene. A bunch of people are going to die. I have a feeling that by the end of this, by the end of this season, there are not going to be many people left. You know, Wells is dead already. So, unless they want to make this, Wells was a major, major character. So, I was really surprised that he died. And that was definitely a huge thing that I was never expecting in the show. The person that I thought would die, honestly, if anyone were to die in the show, I was thinking like Jasper or Octavia, not Wells. Wells was a huge part of the show. Wells was the one who wanted to be the leader on the show, who was the leader of the group. So now, Clarke is going to be all by herself, basically going to be her own leader, I guess. Clarke is going to have to be the leader now, because she's the one who knows all this information. She's the one who can help them, and she's the only one who I think is suited for the job, in my opinion. But, yeah, so again, this episode was amazing. I love the reveal of Wells admitting that Abby killed, Abby was the one who, basically told Jaha about, Jake, and she basically is the one that got Jake dead. So, if Abby comes, what's gonna happen between Clarke and Abby, I think it's gonna be, like, complete intense. All the shit is gonna hit the fan next week, definitely. What's going to happen with Wells? Are they going to find out that Charlotte did it? Or what are they going to do if they find out Charlotte did it? How are they going to react to that? What's going to happen with, what's going to happen there? Who's going to be the new leader? Now that Wells is dead, they need a new leader, so who's going to be the leader now? I don't know, but that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, perfect episode tonight. Really, really loved it. Best episode of the season by far. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for The Americans, which I'm actually watching right now. So, I'll see you guys for that. Bye.